I'm presenting a piece that I wrote very recently called Polyhymnia or Polyhymnia, Muse of Sacred Hymns. It's a prelude, it's in Polymodes, and I want to explain what that means today. And then I'll play at about 1 o'clock. So I'm going to talk for about 30 minutes, try to be entertaining and informative, and then play for you. The piece is roughly 17 minutes, just a little background there. This piece is just a prelude of many preludes and fugues for piano solo that I wrote over the course of the last year in basically all of the modes. And so this last one, this is the last prelude from a prelude and fugue in Polymodes. And so let's explore it together, shall we? Okay. So yeah, there's my name, and there's Polyhymnia, according to an anonymous sculptor in Italy from Monte Calvo from the 2nd century AD. It's about a year 150 or so. And we're going to look at some other artist renderings of this goddess, this muse of many hymns. And apparently this muse inspired artists, literary artists, sculptors, painters throughout the last couple millennia, including myself. But you'll see a lot of frescoes, including this one from Pompeii. 1 second, let me just adjust this a little bit here. And I'll zoom in, it's a little bit small on the projector, but here we go. These are just examples of different artistic representations of Polyhymnia, this goddess of many hymns, different sculptures, paintings in Milano, different types of sculpture here on just the head of a sculpture, etc. And Polyhymnia by Charles Maynier, French artist, from about 1800. There aren't that many recent renderings of this goddess in the art realm that I could see, not many modernist paintings of it. And so I guess it's left up to me to create a modernist approach in music, and so I'll present that today. But yeah, the Muse of Sacred Hymns, the one of many hymns. And yeah, the piece today is 17 minutes. It's from, like I mentioned, a larger set. It's about 1 hour and 20 minutes, which I'll play. The plan is to play that someday here soon in the fall. It's from a piece called The Book of Muses, where I explore all these different muses. And this piece today, this Polyhymnia, the aspect of poly is many. So based on that many aspect, I created a piece, wrote a piece using several sacred hymn transcriptions. So these are pre-existing hymns. I did not write them, but I created a transcription of sorts, combining them in different ways. And I'm going to show you how I did that right now. And there's 4 different cultures that I chose, Muslim, Hindu, Christian, and Jewish cultures. And hymns, sacred hymns from those traditions, those religious sects here. And so I'm going to show you those today. With that sort of poly idea, the many, I've got several musical modes and scales that are established throughout. I'll explain those and play those for you. Phrygian, Ionian, Aeolian, Locrian, the church modes, major pentatonic modes, bitonality, which is 2 different simultaneous keys, like in this, right? The Stravinsky Petrushka chord. Polymeter, 2 different simultaneous time signatures. So I've got a lot of, quite a challenge ahead of me today to play this for you. And here's the structure just quickly. This prelude in 9 parts. It's number 9, it's prelude number 9. And so it's got 9 parts. And so you'll hear me reference the number 9 a lot today, a number that I went with. And here's the overall structure of the different sacred hymns put together. The Adhan, I'll explain each one of these in detail, but the Adhan is a call to prayer from the Muslim religion, and you'll see that there's 5 different Adhans. And so there's, let me zoom in a little bit here so you can read that. Adhan 2, It's like every other hymn is an Adhan. Adhan 3, Adhan 4, Adhan 5. These are supposed to depict the 5 different prayer times of day where Muslims pray. So it's a call to prayer, and you'll hear that Adhan come 5 times. In between it are different other hymns from other cultures. Number 2 is Nav Durga Raksha Mantra from Hindu. Om, 9 goddesses protect me. This is a hymn about the 9. Here's that number again, 9 goddesses. And then Christian hymns, 2 hymns. These are 2 hymns stacked on top of each other. I'll explain that a little bit more in detail later, but you can see, we gather together, and O Lord my God, I thirst for you. They're going to be heard together. And then later on, more Christian hymns together. What a friend we have in Jesus. Open now thy gates of beauty. And you can look at the dates here. Not only are they different keys, which I'll explain later, but 1597, and Vaughan Williams, sorry, let me go back. 1906 and 1597 just kind of jammed together. And then in these other 2 hymns, you have 1867, 1868, and 1863. These are actually closer together, but actually this one's 1680. So anyway, different time periods, different settings, jammed together. And then the penultimate hymn is Shir Lema Alot, Song of Ascents, from the Jewish tradition, or religious religion. And so all these create the 9 parts. And let me explain in depth. Let's look at the Adhan first. And so the Adhan, let me just play some audio of an actual Adhan. And so I'll play the recording, but a little explanation. This is that call to prayer from the Muslim religion. And the original source here, I actually transcribed it in Yafo, Israel, back in 2017, but this recording's different. Just want you to know that. And here's a singer known as a muezzin singing the Adhan. And the Adhan means announcement, right? It's a call to prayer. Come pray. It's an invitation for an obligatory prayer. And you often see this on this singer, this muezzin on a minaret, a little tower near the mosque. They're usually like these thin towers. And they sing. Usually it's projected with a microphone. Sometimes it's a recording. Often today, the one that I transcribed is a recording. But yeah, the text is basically God is great and more, and then come to prayer, come pray. And that's repeated many times. Let me play a recording of an actual one, an actual Adhan. And I think it's helpful to see the video of this muezzin singing this. And I want you to listen to the music or the rest, the sort of reverb effect when this performer is resting. Listen for the reverb, this kind of like swirlingness of the mosque. Listen to that. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. So a lot of beautiful reverb affects the monophonic voice just reverberating in that hall. How would I do that on piano? Well, let me show you. I like to use a lot of extended techniques. So we'll start there with sympathetic harmonics, create this, in quotes, reverb. Let me zoom in so you can see this. There's the blue arrow. And so what I do here on the piano to create that reverb in the hall, to emulate that beautiful sound that I really like, what I do on the piano is silently depress these notes and hold them with the middle pedal. That means that the dampers for only those pitches are going to be raised up, and anything I play is going to be kind of caught with those open strings on the piano. So let me demonstrate. So I've silently depressed these pitches in the bass clef there with the arrow, and now I'm going to press down the middle pedal, and that's going to lift only those dampers. And anything I play on the piano, almost, will kind of be picked up sympathetically from those open strings. So for example, hear that? In the back, can you hear that? It's amplified. I'm hoping you can hear that. And so that's my reverb when the muezzin is resting, taking his breath. That's that hall sound, right? One thing I really like about the muezzin and his monophonic singing is the grace notes. That are very, very rapid and very natural and beautiful. And so you'll see a lot of these written out trills. And there's the reverb sound. This is a transcription done in Yafo, so it's not exactly the same as what you heard, but that's the idea here. Okay. There we go. Okay, having some tech issues. In terms of the pitch content, like scale, I'm in F Phrygian. F Phrygian has an exotic sound. It's captivating. It's minor with the lower two, and you can see me, I wrote it here into the key signature. So we have F minor with the G flat, and so you get this special sound, this Phrygian mode. Okay, so that's the Adan, the call to prayer, inviting the piece to start. And you'll hear that come back 4 times for a total of 5 appearances. The Navdurga Raksha mantra, this is from Hindu religion. And the recording, I like to add things that are interesting. This little blurb is from the actual YouTuber who says, "This video is a humble offering at the feet of our mother Durga, this goddess. Shri Navdurga Raksha mantra has mystical powers. By reciting this mantra, one is protected from all evils and negatives in life." That's kind of nice. And so here you've got the text, Om Shalputri Maya Rakshakaro, etc. And this is one of the 9 goddesses. Protect me. And then I like this one, Om Yag is the best. So, right, and so that's repeated 9 times for the 9 goddesses. So let's hear that.
रक्षा करो। ॐ नवदुर्गा नमः। ॐ जगजननी नमः। ॐ चन्द्रघण्टा चण्डी रक्षा करो। ॐ भयहारिणि मैया रक्षा करो। ॐ नवदुर्गा नमः। ॐ जगजननी नमः।
So there's my source, and so here's a transcription of that. How do I create this sitar sound? How do I create this like hammer dulcimer sound? Well, let me show you some things that I came up with. Okay. Okay, so more extended techniques. Check this out. So this is what I call a sitar strum, and if I'm lucky, I'll get some bass string vibration as I'm going through this. All right, so the scale is an E-flat pentatonic scale. Again, I silently depress these pitches that are in diamond note heads, and then strum across the strings with my fingers, and it's supposed to reflect the sitar. So I got a little bit of that bass string vibration. The bass and tenor strings will touch each other just a little bit and create that kind of sitar, beautiful metallic reverberation. Do you hear that? Okay. So that's my sitar strum, okay? And so the hammer dulcimer is depicted in this scale here, this little ascending figure. I don't have all those things. I just have this piano. I love this instrument right here, but you know, we're limited, so. All right, so you can add the little hammer dulcimer thing, that's really beautiful, and then strumming happens after that again. So that's the overall effect, a bit of extended techniques. And then some drumming, I call it a string slap drumming. So these are bass strings. The pitches are approximate, and you just kind of slap the bass strings with your hand. And so that's how I get this like percussion section, the sitar player, and the hammer dulcimer, all right? So this is how this one goes. Let me play this whole excerpt. Hopefully you can see most of that. There we go. So again, this is a hymn from Hindu religion, in my own way, a transcription of what you just heard. Beautiful hymn. Then to the Christian hymns section. So again, I'm presenting two simultaneous hymns in different keys. And so I've got polytonality, where the top staff, the right hand, is in one key, and the bottom staff, the left hand, is in another key simultaneously. And there's also different meters at the same time. So check this out, I'll show you. So there's our key signature for D major in the right hand, and the key signature for G major in the left hand, and the polymeter 6/8 against 4/4. And if I just play each one independently, you'll hear the characters, and then I'll play them together, and you can hear how they combine. There's a little rest, and then the second phrase comes in. Let me go back. Sorry about that. So that's the "We Gather Together," and then underneath that, in a different, it seems like a different tempo. Well, there's a quarter note value, so the metric groupings are much slower on the bottom staff. Here's the second hymn, "O Lord my God, I thirst for you." So when you put them together, you get what I call polytonality. And so you also get this extroverted character on the top, it's forte, the dynamic's loud. Underneath it, it's introverted, a different character, it's piano. And over the course of this section, the top hymn has rests in it to allow the bottom one to emerge. And so you'll hear like this, the bottom hymn kind of peek up out of the texture. And over the course of this whole hymn section, that the bottom hymn wins, because it has the ending. It finally has the last word. So you hear that bottom one emerge. Put them together. You have this. And here's the second pairing of two Christian hymns in the same kind of setting of polytonality, polymeter. When I was writing this piece, I was trying to explore how I could present different hymns in my own way. And so this is what I chose to do. Here you've got F major on the top staff, as you can see by that key signature, and then B flat on the bottom staff, so two simultaneous different keys, and two simultaneous different meters. This one's, I enjoyed putting these two together because they both have the same starting motive, this dotted quarter eighth thing. Let me play each one and then I'll present them together. Here's the What a Friend We Have in Jesus from 1868. Here we go. Top staff. Let me do that again. Play from here. It's hard to look to the right and play. And that one goes on. Here's the bottom one. Open now thy gates of beauty in a low register. Two different keys at the same time. Put them together. What I think are beautiful, crunchy chords like this one, right toward the middle there, and at the end this beautiful, somewhat B-flat Lydian. So I've really enjoyed putting these together. So yeah. The Last Religion, Judaism. This is a song called Song of Ascents. Apparently it was sung by pilgrims walking up the hill to Jerusalem. I'm going to play the recording. This is a recording by Shom Ben Ari. And this song, like I said, it's Song of Ascents. I will lift up mine, I hear the lyrics here. I will lift up mine eyes unto the mountains, the mountain to Jerusalem. From whence shall my help come? So my help cometh from the Lord who made heaven and earth. That's the synopsis. So basically God is here to protect us, me. And it's interesting, a lot of these, the text from almost all of these, I would say all of these religions has the same message. God will protect me. So here's this one. This is Shir Lama'alot, Song of Ascent. And my transcription is directly from this particular version of the song. There are many, but I like this one a lot. This is Shom Ben Ari, the artist, singing.
אשא עיניי אל ההרים, מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מאימה שעושה שמיים וארץ, אל יתן למות רגליך, אל ינום שומרך. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן שומר ישראל, השם שומרך, השם צילך, על יד ימינך. יומם השמש לא יככה, והריח בלילה, השם ישמורך מכל רע, ישמור את נפשך, השם ישמור צאתך ובואך מעתה ועד עולם, מעתה ועד עולם. שיר למעלות אשא עיניי.
Okay, so I want to show you how I transcribed this. I enjoyed discovering what could I do to transcribe this for piano in my own way. And so I'm going to show you some things about the harmony quite quickly. So it's in A minor, but there's this almost internal conflict with the way that the music is put on paper. First of all, I'll just quickly show you here. Oops. I'll get it right, hold on. My question was, how can I harmonize this in my own way? So, well, it starts off with this pedal tone in B flat. It's an A minor. What's B flat in A minor? Well, that's the Phrygian mode. So if you have minor with lowered 2, which is B flat in this case, it's Phrygian. So I'm starting with this Phrygian bass, the flat 2 in the bass. If you look at the piano, we have basically a black key root in the left hand, B flat, against all white keys in the melody. Right? So I'm going to play with that, white keys against black keys. And you see this game that I play. throughout the whole piece. So let me show you some of the details here. So yeah. And there's some chordal ascents that you can see later on. And so, what's the title? Song of Ascents, Ascending the Mountain to Jerusalem. So you get these. My own way of ascending that mountain. But then, yeah, black keys, more black keys against white keys. Look here. B flat against B natural. There's the B flat versus B natural. I call it a white key, black key cross relation. I like that stuff. It's dissonant. It's what I'm aiming after in my own unique way to harmonize this. And as the piece progresses, I do that more and more. I'll just show you. So here's an E flat fifth against the A fifth. So I'm adding now E flat to the mix. It started out with B flat, 1 flat, now E flat. And it has this like dark quality. I really enjoyed that. So I want more of this. Let's do more of it. Add more black key to the mix. So this is now Locrian mode, right? With the flat 5, E flat in this key. Let's keep continuing. And so here's that B flat against B natural cross relation. As the piece goes forward, I have more like now E flat root and now D flat root. Let me play this for you. So basically the melody is all white keys against the harmony, which is mostly black keys. And so I'm gonna play from here, this pickup right here. And I hope that you hear this like conflict, this split harmony, I call it. Right here, this split chord. And you'll have like a weird chord and then A minor, and then a weird chord and then A minor all the time. So it's this conflict. That's how I harmonized it. Finally here, G flat chord. To A minor, so strange chord out of the key, back to A minor, strange chord and back. And then finally A flat at the bottom here. This is the A flat major, another black key. Guess what's coming? A minor. Right? So that's the game I'm playing. White key, black key thing. And if you think about it, the name of the song is Song of Ascents. Think about the keyboard topography, the layout of the keys. White keys are here. How do you get to the black keys? You go up, right? In a sense. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And so it creates this polymodal split. That's what I call it. So I'll leave it at that. I've got to start playing the piece. It's 17 minutes. I hope you enjoy it. So thank you for being here, and I'll start playing now. Thank you.
Thank you.